Well, you learn something that you never heard of on the Pat Kenny Show, something new every day. It's been compared to both the game of Texas Hold'em and chess. It's the most popular game since Risk. It has sales of this board game of over 40 million globally. It's called Catan, that's with a C, and it's gaining on Monopoly. And here to tell us all about it is Newstalk reporter Sarah Madden, who's brought a box of the board game in. Okay, so tell me all.
So yes, you're right. This is Catan, and the Irish Championships of Catan will take place this Saturday. So everybody's preparing and they're in training. Now, it was first called the Settlers of Catan, and that's essentially what it is. So basically, it mocks the setting up of a settlement on an island, and the person who is best able to build up their civilization wins. It's 3 or 4 players for this basic board. There are extensions, but it's probably considered close to chess because it is a game of strategy, but then dice brings in this element of chance or luck. So people listening may have sort of heard of Catan before, and that's because it has long had a big cult following in Silicon Valley. It actually became kind of part of tech culture, so it's not really nerdcore, it's more hipster. And actually even Reid Hoffman...
What did you say, nerdcore?
Nerdcore, yeah.
What's nerdcore?
So nerdcore would be sort of nerd culture, let's say, and games like Dungeons and Dragons, they would be really part of that. They have this role play element.
And what age group are we talking about here?
Well, we're actually talking about people in their 30s.
Oh my God. People should be at work, you mean? Okay, right.
Well, it's funny you say that because the co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, he's a really big fan of Catan, and he kind of calls it this game of entrepreneurship, and he even created his own version called Startups of Silicon Valley. So there might be something to this game of Catan.
Okay, so you went out to Dunleary to talk to who?
Yes, I was talking to the owner of War Chest, David Reynolds. So he gave me kind of a bit more information about the game and also the culture that's growing up around it here.
So Catan is probably one of our best-selling board games, if not our best-selling board game. Catan definitely has a big brand, and I know it's definitely for sure shown up on the Big Bang Theory. Henry Cavill plays Warhammer 40,000, or Post Malone plays Magic the Gathering. Right?
Does he?
He does, yeah, quite famously. Yeah, there's a lot of videos on YouTube of Post Malone showing off his Magic the Gathering collection. It's a German game, and it's sort of like the founding, like the cornerstone of what you might call Euro games. Euro games are a particular type of board game that usually involve landscapes and resource management. They usually involve things like building roads, building cities, trading resources like wool or sheep. It's very simple to teach somebody to play Catan. You could teach somebody to play Catan in about 10 minutes, and all the rules to the game fit on a card the size of a playing card. This is the gateway. This is like the most basic. This is when you've gone past a Monopoly. This is the next step, and this is what sort of opens people's eyes to the possibility of, a board game could be anything. I feel like it's a growing thing. I'm a millennial myself, and the last 10 years has kind of been like millennials turning into bona fide adults, aging into our 30s and stuff, and suddenly having disposable income that we didn't have before. We're bringing in things that were brand new in sort of the late 80s or early 90s, stuff from our childhood. That's having a real sort of second wave return now as the same kids grow up. I also think there's maybe something to the idea that pubs are not the be-all and end-all for millennials. People are looking for alternate things to do. There's space here where we can host games. Day to day, people can come in and use the tables to play games that they bring with them. And on weekday evenings and in the afternoons on weekends, we host tournaments as well. A lot of people I know tried out the online ones during COVID, and it was like cool for a week or two, but they just didn't feel that to come back. I feel like a space like this in the real world, you get more of a sense of a community.
Millennials maturing and going to work, that'll never be a thing. Now, but when I think about it, in terms of the community of players of Catan, sure, my wife Deirdre's at Bridge 3 nights a week. I mean, so therefore, I get that there's a community around that. So tell us about the Catan community.
Yes, well, it's certainly growing, and there's businesses all over Ireland that are really trying to tap into that. So there's a place called the Square Ball, and I went out there last night. So it's this bar in Dublin that's renowned renowned for its kind of collection of board games, card games. I went there last night and it was actually disco bingo night. So the manager, Jess, she stepped out for a couple of minutes just to chat me through it.
We are a sports bar as well as everything else, but we are very big on games and stuff like that. We've got hundreds of board games for rental, especially if you are drinking as well. It's kind of harder to concentrate sometimes in the very, very technical, specific games. So something like Jenga, Snakes and Ladders and stuff, we've got the real basics. We've just got Guess Who in as well, which is like, you know, that's what everyone played when they were like 7 years old. And it's fun to go back to that. Everyone knows how to play already. It's easy. Like, we do have a good few fairly niche games as well, things people have absolutely never heard of, and I don't know how we ended up with them in stock. We do stuff as well with, if people bring in their own board games from home, they can play their own games anyways, but people can donate their board games to us in exchange for free pints and stuff like that. So we've got a collection of everything from everywhere. It's just something a bit different. People are a little bit sick of sitting around and having pints in any pub. Like, it's, you know, it's something new and different. It's not even really about getting very, very drunk and going out and going crazy. It's a nice way to catch up with people rather than just sitting around and complaining about work and college and how most people are most days. It is actually very much a mix of everything. It's very diverse. It's like, we'll get, well, not kids, you know, we are a bar, but we will get kind of 20-something-year-olds to 50-something-year-olds easy. People just sit here for hours and they just have fun.
Well, it beats going into a pub and looking into your phone all night.
Well, that's part of it, you know. It is like a break from screens.
Absolutely.
I think that's what people are enjoying.
But now we're going to bring it to the next level, which is the competitive thing, because it seems to be a game of skill. Well, the dice can, you know, break for you or against it. Mm-hmm. What are these national Catan championships taking place this weekend?
Yes, so there certainly is a competitive element. Now, it's not exactly professional yet, in the way that the likes of like chess might be, but there are an increasing number of Catan players who are actually earning money playing Catan. Not just playing, I suppose, but also streaming on the likes of Twitch. So I spoke with Gavin Butler, and he is the reigning Irish Catan champion, and he took me behind the scenes into competitive Catan.
Yeah, so at the moment, the top Catan streamer is Delighted YouTube. So he, I believe, is doing it full time. And I know that Dandy Drew, one of the top American players, has also started a YouTube channel and maybe a Twitch channel as well. So I do think there's going to be more of that. There's definitely more people doing that at the moment. The first season of the Irish Catan Premier League, which was an online tournament that the association held this year, I actually won that. And I recorded my games and put them up on YouTube. I didn't record season 2 because I got so few views on season 1. But it's probably not something I'm that inclined to do. It might be something I revisit, but I know that Bo Peng, one of the top American players, he will record his games and then watch them back to see where he might have made mistakes. For myself, when I won the Irish Nationals around 6 weeks out from the tournament, I just started playing, say, maybe about 2 games a night, not every night. And then at the weekend, I would play 3 or 4 games a day, because I knew from the 2019 experience that it's a very long day. You have to play 5 games. And, you know, in 2022, I won all 5 of my games when I won the Nationals, and it takes a lot out of you. You really need to concentrate. So I knew I needed to build up my stamina. So that's another thing you have to think about. And I made sure that I brought lots of like bananas and apples and stuff, so that if I got hungry, I could just take a snack. But there's lots of good Irish players, so the field is wide open. Like,
Gavin Butler there, the best in the country at Catan. So there's an association. You went to speak to the founder of that.
Yeah, so they're the ones that are putting on the tournament this weekend. I was speaking with Lee Landers, who's co-founder of the Irish Catan Association, and he was just fresh off a visit to Áras an Uachtaráin, no less.
I took a chance on that one. I've noticed Michael D. Higgins promotes a lot of Irish national events, such as the League of Ireland football. So I decided to send his PA an email asking would he be interested in being a guest of honour at the upcoming national championships. Received an email a week later, his PA asking the president is sorry that he's not able to make it. Would you be interested in joining you and forwarders joining us at his garden party in Áras an Uachtaráin? And we were absolutely delighted. So this Saturday is the 2023 Catan Irish National Championship. The winner will receive this trophy and will qualify to represent Ireland at the 2023 European Championships in Copenhagen, Denmark, and the 2024 World Championships. It's not confirmed yet, but could be Germany. We have people coming down from Northern Ireland, County Cork, County Limerick, Galway. We even have one person flying in from Belgium to compete in the tournament. He's a past participant. He just had to move back over to Belgium, and he's coming over to participate in this tournament. It's gotten so big over the last since COVID's ended that it's gotten so much bigger. It has. I love coordinating and organising tournaments. That's what I've always loved doing, and I've met so many people, and they are so friendly. They are. When we first start organising our tournaments, half the participants were from different countries. We even had the following tournaments, half the participants were female and the other half are male. So it's so diverse. It is. Our first two national champions were women, and our last champion was Garvin, and it's just amazing. It is, as you said. Yeah, we have multinationals meeting Irish people, and you're just looking around and they're all smiling, they're all getting along with each other. There's no trouble. There isn't. It's just an amazing day and a great experience for everyone.
Okay, an eye-opener there. If you're not familiar with Catan, it is really quite a thing. Sarah Madden, Newstalk reporter, thank you for that report. And all good gaming shops and hobby shops stock it, Catan, the board game. And there's a Facebook page for the Irish Catan Association.